I didn't realize this was happening until about 10 or 15 years ago, probably more like 10 years ago. One of my managers came to me, he said, you know, every time that we have an owner that wants high rents, we don't get any phone calls, we get 1 or 2 a week, and all of a sudden we try to make them work. And she said, you know what we have, Bruce? She said, we have a desperate owner who wants the highest rent possible to cover the mortgage or all the expenses and our cost. And then we find a tenant that has questionable rental history, have a hard time finding it. The credit is probably less than 600. Their credit report, the rental history is vague. Maybe we could establish some income, but it's just desperate. And what happens? We end up taking them. Maybe 3 months go by, maybe 6 months go by, but now we're giving 3-day notices for non-payment of rent or slow pay. And then if they do stay for the long time, we seem to get the property back in a bad condition. And from that, I went back and reviewed some of the properties I moved tenants in on desperate, and you realize, you know, every one has soured out. So when you're looking for a tenant, you want to have a fairly decent credit score, 550 to 650 is great on average for rentals. If you're not getting a call a day, if your rental rate is, you're asking $1,500 and really the market's $1,250, and you're trying for 15, which I don't mind, you know, try for a dream rent, maybe the market's there. But if you don't get the call a day, then you're too high.
When we first were looking for renters, there were a group of renters that were coming in, and we actually had 8 different couples that we could choose from. And the couple that we were most likely going to rent to, we'd actually talked to them. They'd stop by while we were making minor repairs and touching up paint, and they seemed like really nice people, and we were really excited to rent to them. And then Renee actually ran the credit, and it turned out that they were in bankruptcy and they defaulted on lots of payments. They were in the rears on a lot of different things. So in the end, we didn't rent to them, and that was probably a really good thing considering how much they were struggling. And had we been doing that on our own, we wouldn't have known any of that, because we don't really know, as individuals, we don't usually run credit checks. We can, but a lot of times it's difficult as just an individual. So having a property management company doing all of that legwork for you is great.